Hey guys, I do believe that we are live. So let me get my cursor over here, get going on this. Make sure. Okay, can I hear the sound? Looks like I can. So I'm going to go ahead and mute this so that I'm not listening to myself talk, because that's kind of not the fun part, not the funnest thing to do. And there we go. All right. Good morning. I'm gonna bring my keyboard over and type good morning in the chat. Anyone who might be there, we are planning week number 46. And this week, I'm going to be doing my live in my Just Scribble plans instead of in the Sterling ink. So here's the thing. I love the Sterling ink. This has been a great planner for me for a couple of years. However, I am not pulling this out very often. And so I noticed that this has become less useful for me so than this. I take this with me to work. I write notes in it on the daily pages for work. And so this has become kind of my go-to. So I'm going to start doing my live plan with me in this, and then I will do an alternate layout here in this Sterling ink for you. So this layout will happen tomorrow on Monday, if you're interested. And this is what we're going to do today. So I was actually looking at this week here to try and figure out which washi I wanted to select, because I didn't do a washi selection on Friday. Uh, and so, or Saturday. And I was looking at all the different things that are going on in this week, and I realized that November 13th is going to be Starbucks Red Cup Day. And we always like to go and get a red Starbucks cup. I have quite the collection now after years of doing it. So I think that after all of the purples and oranges that I have used, I've been using a lot of, purples and oranges and blues and things like that, that it would be nice to use some browns. So we are going to do a coffee week in our journal this week. So it'll be very brown. So I have this Coffee Monster Co. washi, which I'll try bringing this up here so that you guys can see. This is super cute. It's got all these little, we got the takeaway coffee and the, the little cappuccino with the heart on it. You've got the iced coffee and then just the whole pot of coffee. And it has all these little details and coffee beans in the brown foiling. And then just a regular cup of coffee. And then we're back to that takeaway coffee again. So super cute. I'm going to use that for my main bottom portion. And for the top, I have this just plain old cups of coffee here. So again, we have the, cappuccino with the heart on it, just regular coffees throughout, something with whipped cream. I don't ever do whipped cream in my coffee. I believe this is supposed to be a little Turkish coffee with that they heat on the sand. So anyway, bunch of cute little different coffees. So we're going to use this for our weekend to kind of just highlight that weekend. So let's get to laying down some washi, and then we'll pick our colors for our Tombows. I haven't done that yet, so we can do that together. So 10 o'clock, again, is when I usually put down my washi at the bottom of the page, because even if we're out past 10, which we were this week, we are not planning anything. We're not leaving the house past 10. We're already out. So any plans that happen are going to happen before that time. All right. Tell you what, I did not sleep really well last night. So this little emoji here, just like dying over the coffee, that is me. I am, here's my morning coffee, and I am looking about like that little emoji this morning. I was up pretty late trying to sleep, and not really doing a good job of it. Trying to get tired, not doing a good job of that either. Yep. We also want to put on I almost forgot our weekend banner. A lot of people write in weekend, and I do have some of those weekend stickers I know you guys have seen me use, but I am just I'm just as happy using an alternate washi on the top of the weekend, and that just kind of makes the weekend a little bit distinct, something that looks visually a little bit different. And I think that's kind of fun. Okay, now I'm thinking I also maybe, do I want to do something on Thursday? I'm thinking I'm going to. Well, yeah, not that. I'm going to do something else on Thursday, I think, to make it different. So if you weren't here when I started this morning, Thursday is Red Cup Day, and that's why we're doing kind of our coffee theme today. And I'm a little, there we go. I'm a little bit bubbly on the bottom of this one. We don't want to get bubbly. So washi is nice in that you can pick it up and move it around. I have these coffee stickers that I got from Southern Belle Plans. I did an unboxing of them, so I'll show them here. If you're interested, if you're on the live with me, you're not going to see that, but I will add the card for that after we get done with the live, as soon as YouTube finishes processing it. And I do have these 3 pages of coffee stickers. So what do I want to do? I kind of really want to do this one here. It's super cute. And it'll go right around that emoji well. So I think I'm going to go for it. The colors are great. So even though this is a totally different style sticker, the colors and themes are working together, and therefore it's going to work. It's one of those things, you don't have to stick with one genre. Like I absolutely love the Coffee Monster Co. stickers. They are my all-time favorite. But, sometimes I like stickers that aren't quite so cutesy. And so it's nice to have these. And what if we throw in, well, we'll keep this out and throw in some of these little spatters and such around the week after we get things all planned. So I'm just going to kind of keep this over to the side. And let's get some Tombows. I thought it might be fun since I was so behind on picking out what washi we were going to use to kind of show you how I figure out what Tombows I'm going to use. I have everything swatched in the front of this book. So you guys are probably familiar. This is my washi swatch book. But in the front of the book, I have my Tombows, all the grayscale ones, and then all of the colors. I have microns. I look at the white things, everything that's not fountain pen ink. I did start to swatch some fountain pen ink back in here. And I did not keep up with it, and I didn't like it because a lot of it did bleed through. But this is a Hobonichi plain notebook. And so this is just the regular plain grid paper. And so it shows pretty clearly what the colors are going to be. And then I did my black pens, some of those different black pens. I have a few mild liners, some of the Archer and Olive pens I've gotten. So this has just got kind of a nice set of swatches of markers in here. So when I go to choose a marker, I will often come to this first. And so I'm probably going to start with a fairly neutral color. And I'm thinking that I probably want this 79. I think that's kind of got this similar color to here. So let's see if we can't find that. And sometimes I can't, like, because these markers lose their labels, I can't necessarily tell if it's the same color, but this is. So we will start with that. And then we'll go to the browns. Now I do have listed in the back here, you probably saw as I was flipping through, by colors, by color sets. So these were sets of mild liners that I purchased. Most of my mild liners I have gotten from sets, and usually when they're like half off, or not mild liners, Tombows, I usually get them when they're half off at Amazon. And so I've gotten quite a few different sets. I kind of have a standard search and I look for them. But the portrait set has a lot of great browns in it. And the desert's got a good brown. That's the same one that's here in this cottage set. And it was also in the secondary set, which has this other. But I do believe all of those are included here in this portrait set. So if you're looking for some good browns, that is the set that you want to look for, that portrait set. So most of the browns are here on the last page. It kind of goes by color. And I had actually done the by tens here on the side, and then the 0 and 5. So I can do 5 colors across, and then I have 2 lines for every 10 numbers. Tombow doesn't have colors for every number. I didn't know that when I first got my very first Tombow set and was laying things out. I assumed this would all be filled in, but it's not. But it actually makes it kind of nice because it staggers some of the things. So usually if I'm looking for browns, I'm looking at this last page. So I think we will pull maybe that 992 because that's a good brown. So that is this one. And We do want something that brings in a bit of that dark color. That 879 would be good for that dark color. That is this one here, I believe. 879, yep. And do we want something kind of in the middle? This 947, let's pull it out and have it ready. This feels a little caramely to me, but it'll pick up colors in this sticker over here. So I think it'll work just fine. So that's going to be our palette. And that is kind of my go-to method for choosing my colors for the week. So I'll start with picking out the washi that I'm going to use, and then I will kind of figure out the colors that I think will coordinate well with it. So just so that I don't forget which ones I'm doing, I'm going to, oh, I do also have Helen from the Coffee Monsters Co. swatched a bunch of her Tombows and made this little swatch card. So I have that in the front, but it is missing quite a few of them that I have that she doesn't. So I don't always, and I don't know how true the colors are because it's printed. Whereas I know that these are pretty much the right colors. So let's do some little swatches, and that way I know what I want to add in my description. So we have got N79, and this one kind of I picked to match that a little bit. That one is our 992. This one we'll put over here. Yeah, see, that's going to be a nice, pretty, bold color. This is 947. And our last one is this. I'm going to write the number below here, 879. All right. So we have our colors ready to go. I have a fairly normal week this week. Not doing anything exceptionally out of the ordinary. I think I'm going to do the big block for work this week. I'm just kind of feeling that. I know that I have said, I said last week that I really was liking this layout a little bit, but I'm going to change things up, and I'm going to kind of go back to drawing this in an entire work week. There's something about just seeing that time kind of blocked off that I think is nice. The work week, I am not in the house. So it is really nice to have the work week be kind of its own block, because at this point I know that I can't get anything done that needs to be done around the house. This has to be away from home. So it just kind of separates the home life and the work life at the office. So this is going to be work from 8:30. I haven't figured out how to start working before 8:30 and really like actually get out at a reasonable time. Um, so one of the interesting things, everybody at my office likes to come in late, which is great. I love not having the pressure to get there early in the morning. That is fantastic. But it means that everybody is still working when I leave, uh, which again is fine. I don't mind that everybody is still working when I leave. It's just that I have trouble getting out before 4:30 because everybody is still working. And so, they're kind of thinking that they can still get stuff done, ask me questions, and it's just kind of hard to get out the door. So 8:30 to 4:30 is nice and reasonable. That way I can still get out the door. I have my normal meetings that are going to be 2 o'clock and 2:30. So 2 o'clock on Tuesday and 2:30 on Friday. And I think I'm going to do those in this gray color here. Well, maybe not. For someone that has asked about smudging, I do notice it a little bit more on this, the Just Scribble. I think it might be a slightly slicker paper than the sterling ink. And every once in a while I do catch it a little bit. Actually, I think I'm going to use this for my car, for being in the car. So I'm going to change my mind on what I just said. And I will put those drive times in here. And in the last couple of weeks, I've kind of moved this over and put my friend Kim's call, over the top of it. And I'm still going to do that, but I'm going to make this kind of a full box just so it looks nice. It always kind of throws me off when I look at it and it's over a little bit. So we're just going to put her in right there so I don't write in that space. And we'll go ahead and put date night in while we're at it. I use this nice caramely, very rich color for my personal events because they'll stand out really nicely against all the other browns. There we go. And what else have we got going on this week? Well, we have got our plan with me that we'll do again. That made a squeaking sound. All right, so those are our big anchor events right now. Like I said, I have a fairly slow week, which is good because that'll kind of help me get back on schedule. Anything else that I need to note? I am going to work on my part 107 here on Saturday. I'm going to just make a little box, maybe 2 hours. Let's give myself 2 hours for it. I've heard it's not real complicated to renew it. So if I need to make this bigger, I can. I don't want to give myself too much time and then end up wanting to go do something else and not having anywhere to write that. So we have all different kinds of styles of boxes with the same color here for all of our events that are not kind of work related. So I've got this thin line around here. We've just got the regular wording. Then we've got kind of a thicker box here and then just a line. And they'll all kind of end up tying together in the end when I'm done. I am going to put we're going to use this for things up here above the wake up line. So these are the all day things. So I've got some videos for you guys. We've got Red Cup Day. So those are the videos that I have so far. Now, technically, I could make this color so that it coordinates, but I think I'm going to leave it because it is something that I need to do. So as I'm thinking through my process, I'm trying to tell you why I'm placing things where I am, uh, because I think that's the most confusing thing is why people use certain colors for certain things, why they put them where they put them, that kind of thing. This is feeling, as I'm looking at it on the camera, it feels very yellow, this color. In person, it does not look quite so yellow. So I'm not sure if it's looking kind of yellowish on your screen, but it really doesn't have that yellow look. It does blend a lot better in person. So let's start adding some words to this. So this is going to be the alternate plan with me. Week 46. This is the art short. And that I have already uploaded. This is, okay, we need a sticker before we move further on this. Because I have got, a few years ago, I got these super cute, so I have just regular Starbucks stickers. I used to go to Starbucks a lot more often. I don't go quite as often anymore because even though there are a lot more Starbucks around me, there isn't really one on my way to work. So I haven't gone as frequently. But I also got these little red cup Starbucks cups. So these are from Cupcakes and Stickies. And I do not have a lot of stickers from that particular company, but every time we have Starbucks Red Cup Day, I like to make sure that I am using these particular stickers just because, I have them and they're so cute. So on it goes. We have our Starbucks Red Cup Day. Do you guys do Red Cup Day at all? Anybody else? Am I the only one that loves getting those little red cups? I don't even use them all that often, but I love having them. And every once in a while, when I do use them, I'm really happy that I have them. So put. So this becomes kind of one of the holidays I actually celebrate. There's holidays that you celebrate, and then there's holidays that you write on the planner and you really don't necessarily do anything for those. But this is one that I will kind of go out of my way in the morning to go and get that red cup. And then we do also Tuesday. I almost forgot. Speaking of holidays, I know Tuesday is Veterans Day. All right, and then I have for you on Thursday, I hope you guys are going to like this. This is a TCMC, the Coffee Monster Co. And it is a sticker haul. It's very short. I only got a couple stickers. I will give you kind of a little sneak peek here because I haven't put them away yet. So I've got kind of this nice little assortment of stickers and very short, but we'll look through those together on Thursday. And I did that as a short. It's under 3 minutes, and it is already uploaded and ready to go for you guys. So I'm trying to get, again, a little bit better about getting things filmed on the weekend. I will do the alternate plan with me probably after this, so that that's ready to go for tomorrow. So that you've still got some things to watch during the week if you need them, especially for treadmill time. I know Keisha likes to be on her treadmill time. Have some things to watch. Unfortunately, the two shorts aren't going to be very good for the treadmill, but I'll make sure that plan with me has a little bit going on for you. And then we will hopefully do our week 15 on YouTube. If you were paying attention this week, I got really busy, especially on Friday. So Friday we had trivia, Friday evening, and I left for work at, what was it, a little bit before 8 in the morning, and I just came and this home, I came and I picked up Malcolm. I didn't even get out of the car, and we went straight to trivia. So I did not actually enter the apartment until after 11 o'clock at night. We ended up doing a White Castle run afterwards. And then I just kind of hit a wall after that happened. And you will see my nice little couch. Now, everybody in the planner community always asks, what do you do when you have a day when you just don't do anything? And yesterday was one of those days that I just did not have energy or time or anything. I hit a wall. And we all have those days. And so I just wrote couch on the day. We stayed on the couch for most of that day. And then we went and grabbed some dinner. And then we came home and we watched one of the stupidest movies I think I have ever seen in my life. Um, I think it was supposed to be silly, funny, but I was not overly impressed. And, but anyway, it was the day for it because my brain was kind of tired. I was just kind of done at the end of this week. And so that that is what I will do for something like that, is I will often just write something in big letters along that day. And that way I know that was a day that I just really didn't have plans. I wasn't doing things. Um, so back to this week. But that was, that was why my 14 weeks was late. So I ended up doing that after the movie last night. Really, really long way of saying that that in this 14 weeks that should have happened on Friday ended up happening Saturday night. And then the washi selection didn't happen. It was just kind of ended up being a mess. So that reminds me that I want to make sure that I'm putting one of these here for the washi selection. But this way, I think I have got a lot of different little pieces. And then the plan with me. So Wednesday right now is the only day, hopefully, that won't have anything. Or it might. I might end up putting something in there. But for right now, it doesn't have anything. So we'll do our little writing. Even though I know what this means, I find that it blends better when it has all the writing. I think that the writing on all of these little pieces does tend to tie things together. So I like to make sure that I'm adding it in. So even you'll notice things like date night, I do end up writing in what we do for date night so that there will be some writing in this piece. Sometimes I'll have a little sticker in there with the two of us, depending on what we are doing for date night. So there we go. All right. This is going to be part 107, continuing education. And this will be the Plan With Me Live. Now, see if we can't find some stickers. I know I have got the end of the sticker book. I know I didn't use all of the planner stickers that came with this year, but I'm going to see if I had anything from the year before that works. I try really hard to use up these older stickers first, if I can. I don't always find something to use them for or a way to use them. I do have this cute little ketchup sticker that came in this current, that most recent sticker haul that I'll be doing on Thursday. That really doesn't fit what I'm doing. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go to my main stickers instead. All right. Over here, I have got, this is my kind of annual stickers. And this is one of the reasons that I did not get new stickers. And while I'm here, I got new quarterly stickers. I didn't get a lot of new annual stickers because I don't use them as often. I did get these. These are super cute. There's another preview of what's coming in that haul. So I'm going to put these in here while I've got this open. They don't fit real great, but that's okay. There we go. I didn't get these kind of annual stickers right now because I don't find that I use them all. So I have got stickers from the year before. These are 2024 stickers. I've got the kits from 2025. And I just really was trying to think if I need the kits for 2026. These are the monthly kits. And I don't know that I do. So I pushed pause. I didn't get anything just yet. We will see. I may end up changing my mind because the kits are really cute. She did everything kind of in watercolors, but it has plan next month. Now I'm not quite ready for plan next month, so that's not the sticker that I'm thinking of. So that's not the one I want to use. Possible that it is a weekly sticker instead of a monthly sticker. Let me look at these look at these weekly kits. So there we go. We've got a little emoji with their planner. That's kind of what I was looking for. Is the plan next week, not necessarily next month. And I've used a sticker of this type before. I think I used one this week. So I know you guys have seen them. Maybe not this week. Go back to use one there. Nope. Maybe I haven't used one in a while. Okay. Well, I think these little emojis with the planners are super cute. So, and that kind of has that very subtle brown to it as well. They're technically holding a Hobonichi. I'm not in a Hobonichi anymore, but I still think those are really cute. And then the part 107 is to keep my drone license active. And I don't have any good drone stickers. I really wish someone would come up with some drone stickers. However, the part 107 is part 107 of the pilot's exam. So I could potentially use a little airplane sticker instead. Or I can use a little kind of test taking sticker. I don't know that I have a test because I don't take many tests, but I do have some kind of studying stickers that are a bit kind of coffee related. I'm not figuring out what I want to do with this. I know I want a sticker. I really don't know what I want to do. Let's put this little, you see this little reading guy right here. This is from a Q4 2024 subscription. We're just going to use him and put him right in here. I know I'm going to be online for that. They'll be on the FAA's website, so that should be fun and exciting. Being on a government website right now is probably not going to be the most fun place to be. I hear they're not all functioning quite right. One of the things that I never put in were my meetings. So I've got one. Nope. It's on Tuesday. And I have one on Friday. This is our construction administration meeting. They call it an OAC meeting, and then this one is RFI review. And I do want to make a little note here. We have someone out of the office, and they'll be back on Wednesday. Now I also, at the bottom of the page, I'm going to want to put in, I think I'm going to do it in this kind of neutral color here that I have. Instead of getting out my standard Staedtler fine liner, I'm going to do it with the bit thicker, the thin side of this. But we are going to do 3 areas down here. Now I know Monday is going to be a little bit tight, but that's okay. And I did do some writing in here on Monday. Again, it's okay. I don't need it to have everything, but I'm going to get a very kind of faint color. I'm going to go with this one, this N89, I think, and write in that this is going to be reading. So I'm just going to write read here. And again, this is very faint. I'm going to write over this. So this is just to let me know which goes in which column. And we're going to have a watch column. Again, very, very faint. This particular color I usually use when I do things like an Alistair method to kind of highlight the different columns or rows because it's so faint. So it just does a nice highlighter. And then this will be meals. And this is that N89. All right, so now I can see at least where things are going in there. But again, it's very, very faint. I will write over it when I get to Sunday. What I've been doing, so this last week, I really liked how that turned out. You know, I have my what I ate kind of across the top, and then I put what I'm reading. I had an audiobook that was Heartburn. I finished that on Tuesday. I started a new one. So I just drew a dot when I finished it and then continued the line for the new one. I'm still working on that. And then we watched season 4 of The Witcher, and we finished that one on Thursday, so I know when that finished. I need to write in the movie at some point that we watched on. In fact, I'll do that now. I do not recommend it. It was really, really, I guess if you're looking for a kind of stupid, silly movie, it would satisfy, but it was Idiocracy. It's from the early 2000s. It's Owen Wilson, right? No, not Owen. His brother, Luke Wilson. Um, it was, you lose a few brain cells watching it, but I mean, it definitely satisfied the kind of stupid funny genre if you're looking for something along those lines. Let's put in some trackers here. Um, I think that these two trackers that I had last week were fine. I don't need to track the time that I'm in my car, but these trackers were nice to have. So let's start with work. And the number of hours. What I did last time worked well. I had 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm doing this deliberately in the same color that I use for my work stuff over there, so that it ties in and I can visually see exactly where the work hours need to go. I did last week and I liked this. I put in that I'm supposed to work 8 hours. So we'll just put a little light colored line there at the 8-hour mark. As you can see, if we look at last week, I was at 8 hours 2 days. I was over 2 days and just half hour under 1 day. Which worked well. And let's do the sleep tracker as well. So we did, how many hours did we do here? 4 to 10. That should be good. We'll do that again. On the sleep tracker, I don't necessarily need to total that. We talked about that last week. I had thought I wanted to total and, do an average, but I really don't need it. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There we go. And again, on sleep, my goal is this kind of 8-hour mark. Sometimes I'm better about that than others. Last week was pretty sporadic. This Saturday or Sunday is probably going to be around 4 hours. I don't think I got much sleep at all last night. But it just kind of bounces around. I rarely hit at that 8-hour mark, but we try. We do what we can, right? So let's see if we can't use a couple little stickers in here. So I'm going to use this one, this little coffee stain. And it comes with 2 little blotches. And we will put that right there. And then I'm going to put layer another sticker on top of it. So we've got plenty of decoration in our little sidebar here. And then I'm going to take one of these, put it on here, and it has these super teeny tiny, I hate getting out the tweezers when I'm filming because it feels so kind of over the top. But these little stickers are a little bit hard. But I feel like maybe not everybody has access to sticker tweezers, and so sometimes I feel a little silly, but they are easier to get off when you have these the tweezers here. Let's take this one and just kind of put it in here. I don't know what's going on, but that can kind of sit in the middle of this. And it looks a little like a little poopy, so we're going to put this other coffee splotch there to kind of make it not look like just a little random thing sitting there, and then maybe get one of these little teeny tiny dots. There we go. Now it looks a bit more like spilled coffee and a little less like I just have a random something in my in the middle of my week. And okay. One of the very last things that I always like to do is to write our temperatures up at the top. So we were pretty nice last week. We got into the 70s a bunch, then back into the 60s, 45, and then today our high, it was supposed to be 45, but now it's showing as 37. So we have gotten very chilly very fast. So it is cold here right now. But that is not going to last. So having the weather here has been really nice for knowing what to dress like in the morning. Because for example, tomorrow it is going to be, we have a high of 39 tomorrow, and a low of 23. So it's going to be really, really chilly. And then we're going to work our way up as the week goes on. And we'll be back in the 70s by the end of the week, apparently. That is Midwestern weather. If you're not familiar, not from this area, that may seem like a very drastic swing, but it's actually pretty normal around here. After I get the weather on, I think that'll be about everything for this week. So wrapping things up. 66, that's nice. 49. And it looks like Saturday is going to be super nice. So hopefully that part 107 doesn't take real long and we can get outside and do something fun on Saturday, because it is going to be in the 70s, mid 70s. And that would be really, really nice to be able to get out and do something on that day. I am a bit of a baby when it comes to cold weather. I don't particularly like it all that much, and I tend to want to hibernate. So when I get a warm day, or a couple warm days, I really always want to end up getting out and about during those days. So I think that's gonna kind of do it for this week. It looks like I have everything I need so far. One of the things that I'm going to do is go in over the next the Monday through the Friday and put in notes and tasks. I have been doing that. Unfortunately, they're work tasks, so I can't really show you what they look like at the end of the week, but I will do the first one to kind of just show you what they look like, what I'm getting ready. So we've got 2, 4, I usually do 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'll do 12 columns here. It doesn't need to be exact. If I need more space, I write over this way. If I need more space on the notes, I write over the other way. And then I literally just write notes on this side. And my tasks on this side. And then draw a little line connecting them. And that is it. That is as much prep as I do for the days of the week. And I will do this for Monday through Friday. I don't do the weekends because, the weekends can be different. I might have work tasks or we might go do something fun and I might want a memory keep. So right now, this is all I do Monday through Friday so that I have something ready for work when I need to be taking quick notes or have to write down a series of tasks. When somebody comes to my desk and asks me to do something, I am ready. I'll write it down, and that way I'm not going to forget if I'm working on something else and I don't have time to stop. I still know what the next thing is that I have to get done. In construction, things can happen really fast. And if you're not staying somewhat on top of it, you can feel really disorganized really quickly. So by having that in there, I'm ready to go. Let's just take one more quick look back at the month and see if there's anything else. I know that I have been working on the NaNoWriMo and the writing. I have done a little bit of writing through the week. I did some writing on Tuesday. I did some writing on Thursday, but I'm not participating enough and I haven't been tracking it. That is something that has kind of fallen into the background a little bit. So I am still moving the story forward, but I'm not writing as much as I need to, and I don't necessarily feel like I need somewhere in here to track that for this week. I do still hope to get my rough draft of my novel done by the end of the year and then start in on the second one, because if I can get the first one done and then get started on the second one, then I can hopefully finish the second one, or at least get to a point where I have left the first one alone for a few months and can edit it. Right now I don't have anything concrete that I can edit. I just have the beginnings of everything. And so I want to have the whole thing done so that I can go back in and do a good edit after setting it aside for a little bit of time. But I think this is what my week's going to look like. I'm going to go finish my coffee. I've been pretty slow on working on this as we've been working on our week here. So hopefully you enjoyed this Plan With Me Live, and I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you guys soon. Bye. I gotta say, so I said bye, but I I never know how to end these lives without pulling this thing down